Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom.
And we're off to beautiful Orchid Island. I wish that was really true. I wish I could just, jump on a plane and go over there, or maybe even jump on a boat.
It's not really that hard.
I get seasick. Do you get seasick, Tom?
Well, I did. I found out the hard way.
Yuck.
As I described last time, we took a boat from Orchid Island to Green Island, and the sea was really rough that day.
Did you throw up?
Oh, yes, indeed. Everything in my stomach came out. My breakfast came out. When I drank water, that came out. I had dry heaves. Yeah. If you know what dry heaves are, you're throwing up, but there's nothing in your stomach.
Because it's all out already.
Yeah, so I basically had to drink water in order to have something to throw up. Otherwise, it would have hurt. But yes, indeed, that is a risk if you take a boat out there. There is a boat that goes from that harbor near Taidong out to Green Island. And indeed, if you're sensitive...
We're going to Orchid Island now.
Right.
Though.
I'm not quite sure how people get out to Orchid Island these days. Back when I went there, you had to take a train to Taidong. We took a small plane. We took a propeller airplane out to Orchid Island from Taidong. But I believe there are flights direct from Taipei now, or there were, and they stopped. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, there was that Fuxing airline that would go out there, but they're gone. You know, what we call those little small planes, it made me laugh. We call them puddle jumpers. Every once in a while, I'll get into a tiny plane if I'm going from a big city to a city that's not quite as big. Yeah, it's a little scary. But I think you can still fly, but you need to check into that, guys. You might want to look into Songshan Airport, where they have the shorter domestic flights that leave all the time. Today, though, we're going to talk about why. Why would you want to go to Orchid Island? What does it offer? Offers a lot of fun things. So right now, we're going to read through today's unit and then we'll be back. Off the southeastern coast of Taiwan lies Orchid Island, named for the overwhelming number of wild orchids scattered across the region's rolling hills. Orchid Island is more remote than Green Island and was originally settled by the Dao people. This Austronesian ethnic group has had a huge influence on the area's way of life and traditions. Visitors to Orchid Island are sure to be charmed by its distinct culture. A huge part of the Dao people's way of life revolves around fishing and the ocean, which is essential to their survival. Therefore, the people regard their boats as extensions of themselves. While their traditional boats range in size, they all share striking features, including sharply rising stems and ornamented hulls that display elaborate carvings and bright paintings. Today, these boats are so iconic that they have become the island's best-known cultural artifacts. There's no better way to watch these graceful boats at sea than to take a guided flying fish tour. The flying fish season lasts from March till June, but these fish provide the Dao people with enough food to eat all year round. If visitors prefer a more thrilling way to explore the island, though, the coastal loop road is the best way to take in the area's beauty with the wind in one's hair. The path passes along the island's rugged coastlines, dense rainforests, and 6 traditional villages featuring the Dao people's traditional stone and wood dwellings. With so many experiences unique to these islands, visitors can feel as though they're entering another world. The good news is that these amazing destinations are just a boat or plane ride away. Why not plan your own adventure to see them?
Okay, so as promised, today we're going to talk about another offshore island, this time Orchid Island. Those are the 2 main islands that people talk about when they talk about the offshore islands, Green Island and Orchid Island. Although, as we mentioned in the first program of this series, Jinmen and Mazu also count as offshore islands, as do Penghu and 小琉球. I don't know how to say 小琉球 in English. Little Okinawa? Is that what it is? I'm not sure if that's correct.
I don't know.
But in any case here, let's explore Orchid Island today. So off the southeastern coast of Taiwan lies Orchid Island, named for the overwhelming number of wild orchids scattered across the region's rolling hills. Now, I'm not very into flowers myself, so when I went to Orchid Island, I did not notice that, but I wasn't really looking for that because, again, I'm a guy. We don't really like flowers,
I love orchids, though.
That's kind of a girl thing, to like flowers.
Yeah.
I'm different now, of course, now that I've gotten older. Next time I go, I'll pay attention to that. But that's kind of why Orchid Island is called Orchid Island. It's because of all those orchids. It's an overwhelming number of wild orchids scattered across the island. So here, overwhelming, sometimes people say overwhelming. That just means a very high amount of something. In fact, so many of them that you might feel intimidated or you might not know what to do. My goodness, there are so many flowers. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh, sounds perfect for me. Yeah, overwhelming. I wanted to mention sometimes work is overwhelming or your emotions overwhelm you. Lots of this stuff can happen. I can't believe there are wild orchids over there. I just know that orchids are very, very fussy flowers, meaning you have to be very careful in how you take care of them. Can't water them too much or too little. I once bought an orchid for my mom, and my family's in Arizona. I didn't know that orchids love humidity. They need the air to have a lot of water, and I grew up in the desert. And of course, the orchid I bought for her died very quickly. But anyway, there are wild orchids. Anytime a flower is preceded by the word wild, it means no one planted them. They just appeared, and they're so beautiful. Scatter, they're here and there, everywhere. You could say that convenience stores are scattered around Taiwan. Well, these wild orchids are scattered across the region's rolling hills. The difference between a hill and a mountain is how high something is. Mountains are much higher. Hills, they're not so hard to hike up. And rolling just means it's a more rounded shape. I love that phrase, rolling hills. We have mountains in Arizona, big mountains. But if you go to a place like England, they have nice rolling hills. They're not so high and difficult to hike up. Orchid Island is more remote, though, than Green Island. A place is remote. It's far away from people and big cities. It's harder to get to, which actually makes it more appealing to me.
Yes, if you're down in Taidong traveling along the coast there, it's pretty easy to see Green Island. It's not too far away. But it's very difficult to see Orchid Island. You could probably only see it on a very clear day. Yes, every time I go to Taidong, I can easily see Green Island, but almost never can I see Orchid Island. So that's why we're saying it's more remote. It's farther out there in the ocean, and it was originally settled by the Da'u people. They used to be called the Yamezu, the Yami people, but I guess they've changed the term here to the Da'u people. And this Austronesian ethnic group has had a huge influence on the area's way of life and traditions. Yes, indeed, this is an ethnic group. I guess they're different from other tribes in Taiwan. Their language is very different, and their customs are somewhat different. So it's a very unique people out there, a group of people out there. If you're into that sort of thing, you can probably learn a lot. Again, this is an Austronesian ethnic group called the Da'u.
Visitors to Orchid Island are sure to be charmed by its distinct culture. If it's distinct, it's really unique. It's not like other cultures. Kind of cool. And if you're charmed by something, it's something that you could also describe as being charming. They have a charming culture, meaning that it's very appealing to you. It makes you smile. Moving on to the next paragraph, it says, a huge part of the Da'u people's way of life, how they live, revolves around fishing and the ocean, which is essential to their survival. That's not surprising because they are surrounded by water, of course. So they're going to get a lot of their food from the sea. So they're going to fish, also spend a lot of time on the water. To revolve around, this is a verb phrase that means something is central to what you do. I could say my life revolves around my family. I'm always, keeping in touch with them. I make my vacation plans based on my family. Maybe your life revolves around baseball or a sport that you like. That's all you think about. I know sometimes the kids around here, their lives seem to revolve around tests they have to prepare for in school, or maybe their life revolves around their friends, or maybe video games they're playing a lot. There are lots of things your life can revolve around.
Or they revolve around their smartphones. Everybody seems to have them out all the time. But in any case, yes, it's a big part of their way of life there. All the things they do during the day kind of involves fishing and the ocean. And of course, all those things are very important, very essential to their survival. Therefore, the people regard their boats as extensions of themselves. An extension just means a part that is connected to something and then it extends or sticks out farther. So indeed, these boats are extensions of themselves. They're actually part of them. Their boats are basically a part of them. I think they also say that about disabled people. Their wheelchairs are extensions of themselves. They think of their wheelchair as part of their whole body.
Yeah. Well, while their traditional boats range in size, traditional boats would be boats that are connected to their culture and they've been using them a long time. They range in size, so there are different sizes that they use. They all have striking features. They share these striking features. If it's striking, it really gets your attention. So what are these striking features their boats all share? Well, they all have sharply rising stems. That's the front of the boat, I believe. So it kind of goes up in the front. And then they also have ornamented hulls that display elaborate carvings and bright paintings. If something is ornamented, it means it's decorated. You could paint it. That would be a way to ornament something. Or maybe you add some different elements to something. We'll often ornament our Christmas trees, for example. We'll put bright balls on them and ribbon and things we love, like angel on the top of the Christmas tree. Here we're talking about the hull, which is the bottom of the boat. Is that right, Tom?
Yep, the hull.
Yeah.
The front part, of course, is the bow. The back part is the stern. But this
I said the stem is the front.
Well, stem is another thing that's sticking up. That's different. We're talking about canoes here. That's basically what the boats are in Lanyu there. And they take them out on the ocean. A lot of them are for display, but of course, a lot of them are actually used in their rituals and things like that. But they're, highly ornamented, lots of decorations on the hulls there with lots of carvings and bright paintings. Carving where they take knives and make little pictures out of the wood. And today, these boats are so iconic that they have become the island's best-known cultural artifacts. In fact, the airport at Lanyu at Orchid Island is designed to look like one of these boats.
Oh, that's cute.
So, yeah, check it out. It's pretty cute, actually. It was not built when I went there myself many years ago. But, hey, I'm anxious to go there and check it out again. Okay, that brings us to the midway point in today's lesson. Let's take a break now and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tina. 我们今天要介绍的就是 Orchid Island, 也就是兰屿。在文章的第一个句子提到 Off the southeastern coast of Taiwan lies Orchid Island, named for the overwhelming number of wild orchids scattered across the region's rolling hills. 这一句是一个倒装句，我们把地点先移到前面来，地点就是 off the southeastern coast of Taiwan， 它的地点就坐落于台湾的东南沿海。 lies 是这一句的动词，位于什么地方？那么主词是 Orchid Island， 后面再补充说明为什么叫做兰屿呢？它是因什么而得名？因为遍布于该地区绵延起伏丘陵上的大量野生兰花。我们首先来看到在这里的 rolling hills 指的就是起起伏伏的意思，而 overwhelming 指的呢就是很惊人的，数量很多的。不过我们要特别注意到在这里的 scattered 是 VPP 表被动，表示这些兰花呢是散落零落的出现在这些山丘上。 Scatter 本来用来当作动词，就有分散的意思。举例来说 当警察冲过来的时候，人群便散开了，你就可以说 The crowd scattered when the police charged。 而在这里呢，则是用被动表示这些花呢分别被散落在这里的丘陵上面。接着我们来看到第二段的第一个句子， A huge part of the Dao people's way of life revolves around fishing and the ocean, which is essential to their survival. 当然咯，兰屿的居民呢，就是我们的达悟族，而达悟族他的生活方式当中有很大一部分都是以渔业跟海洋为中心，而这对他们的生存是非常重要的。我们来注意到这一句的重要动词叫做 revolve around。Revolve 本来就有以什么为中心绕着转的意思，像是地球绕着太阳公转，我们就可以说 The earth revolves around the sun。 再举一个例子，他们的麻烦大概就是围绕在金钱处理方面，你就可以说 Their troubles revolve around money management。 而达悟族的生活方式就是以渔业跟海洋为中心。第二段中间的句子还提到 While their traditional boats range in size, they all share striking features, including sharply rising stems and ornamented hulls that display elaborate carvings and bright paintings。 这个句子很长，这里的 while 解释成为尽管虽然他们传统的船只呢是 range in size， 也就是它的大小呢是不太一样的，但是它们都有一些 striking features 显著的特征，这些特征包括了像是锋利往上翘的船首，以及被装饰过的船身。我们先来看一下 ornamented。 在这里的 ornament 本来是用来当作动词，有装饰跟美化的意思， VPP 表示被动。举例来说，大厅是以中国画来装饰，你就可以说 The hall is ornamented with Chinese paintings。 而这些船身呢，则是呢看到有很多精美的 carvings 精美的雕刻，以及鲜艳的一些图文在上面。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about Orchid Island today and what it's like on that really unique island. It's got a lot of wild orchids growing on the region's hills. They're rolling hills. It's really pretty. It's also a lot farther away than Green Island, which we talked about in our earlier program. And it was originally settled by the Da'u people. They were the first ones to go out there and set up their homes and kind of build a life around what was there on Orchid Island. Of course, their lives revolve around fishing and the ocean. And they also have very unique boats, kind of like a canoe that they use, but they've really decorated them. I'm sure most of our listeners have seen them. They have these stems that rise in the front. Sharply rising means it goes up very quickly. It's not a slope. It's just woo! For example, if you're hiking a mountain and you say it's a steeply rising peak, you're going to have a hard hike. So these stems go up very quickly vertically. And then they also decorate or ornament. You could also use decorate here. The hulls of the boats or the canoes that they have. They also carve very beautiful things into their boats. And of course, they also use very bright colors to paint them.
Yeah, white and red and black. I'm sure you've seen them. They're quite iconic. They are representative of Orchid Island.
Yeah.
You see those all over Taidong. They're trying to promote travel out to Orchid Island if you go down to Taidong. But here in the next paragraph, it says, there's no better way to watch these graceful boats at sea than to take a guided flying fish tour. I guess they're offering those tours now. As I said before, I was at Orchid Island over 20 years ago, so I think they've developed their tourism more, and they're offering these guided tours in these boats. I guess you can go out in these boats yourself. You can make the arrangements, pay the fee or something like that. And we're describing the boats as being graceful. So if you look at them, indeed, they are quite graceful. They have a lot of grace to them, a lot of elegance. You could describe, a pretty woman as being graceful. Lin Zhiling, she's often described as being a very elegant, graceful, beautiful woman.
Yeah, you also will often see this word describing dancers who can move their bodies so well. They're very graceful looking. So they use these boats, or we could actually go on a tour on some of these boats to see the guided flying fish tour. Do fish really fly out of the water, Tom?
Yeah, I think they jump out and go through the air. Of course, they don't take to the air like birds do.
That's fun.
But still, it's quite something to see. I haven't seen flying fish too often myself. I think I saw maybe one or two. Not on Orchid Island, by the way.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're lucky, you could see flying fish there. But indeed, the flying fish season lasts from March till June. So you've got a couple of months to wait for that. But these fish provide the Da'u people with enough food to eat all year round. So, of course, flying fish are important to their culture.
So the Dao people have enough food to eat all year round because of these flying fish. So if visitors prefer a more thrilling or exciting way to explore the island, they might want to check out the Coastal Loop Road. A loop is just a circular shape or pattern. If you say the road loops around something, it just encircles it. So it's a coastal loop road is a great way to actually see the area's beauty. And here we're using that verb phrase to take in the area's beauty. Is just to see it, to appreciate it. And of course, you're going to be traveling with the wind in your hair, which sounds really nice, especially if you're in a convertible car. Now, the path passes along the island's rugged coastlines, dense rainforests, and they also have 6 traditional villages that feature the Da'u people's traditional stone and wood dwellings. That's what they make their homes out of. If you're describing something as being rugged, maybe the land is rugged or the coastline is rugged, just means it's very rocky. It's not a smooth path that you get to climb up. It's kind of tough, actually, if you're not really good with hiking. So it's rugged coastline. So there's not a lot of nice soft sand. It's got rocky cliffs, I'm sure.
A lot of different kinds of rock formations.
Yeah.
It's all coming back to me, actually. I remember that Green Island resembled Taiwan more in its vegetation and its mountains and stuff like that. But Orchid Island seemed like a totally different place. It looked quite different from Taiwan itself. So this is probably one way to describe it. It has rugged coastlines, with rock formations and stuff like that. And the rainforest there, the tropical vegetation there is much more dense. Dense just means thicker, harder to go into, and harder to cut the trees down.
Easier to get lost.
Indeed. And of course, they've got these traditional villages there, more than just the 1 or 2 that are on Green Island. And these, of course, are traditional villages that are inhabited by the Da'u people. And if you go in there, they have their special kinds of houses that are like really close to the ground because they have typhoons going through there.
Right.
So they build the houses kind of down into the ground. So they're made from stone and wood. And a dwelling, of course, is just a building, especially if it's a building where somebody lives in.
Yeah. We'll often describe someone's home. In literature, you'll see that word as a dwelling. So with so many experiences that are unique to these islands, visitors can feel as though they're entering another world, which is a great feeling. When you go on vacation, you don't want to see what you see every day around you. You want to see something different. So the good news is that these amazing destinations are just a boat or plane ride away. We were talking to one of our friends here, and he says it's not that expensive to get a round-trip ticket to Orchid Island, so you might want to check that out. So why not plan your own adventure to see them? That's our suggestion from our author here, Emily. Sounds like a good idea. I'd like just to make plans myself. It's about time I went and saw these places.
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
The arrangements can be easily made. There are probably lots of places to stay in Orchid Island there, hotels, bed and breakfast places or whatever, so you can have yourself one heck of a time if you go not only to Orchid Island, but also to Green Island. And as we said, there are other offshore islands to check out as well. Penghu, Jinmen, Mazu, etc., etc.
Wow.
So, yeah, indeed, there's a lot more to talk about concerning these places, of course. So, yeah, head there yourself and talk about it with your friends and have yourself the time of your life. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Here comes our Chinese teacher.
接着在第3段的第一个句子提到 There's no better way to watch these graceful boats at sea than to take a guided flying fish tour. 在这里提到没有比参加这个飞鱼季的导览行程更好的方法来在海上观赏这些优美的船只了。在这里的 graceful 指的就是优美的雅致的意思。而这里有一条环海公路，称之为是 The Coastal Loop Road， 就是一个最好的欣赏这个地区美景的公路。在这一段的最后一句提到 The path passes along the island's rugged coastlines, dense rainforests, and 6 traditional villages, featuring the Dao people's traditional stone and wood dwellings. 这里的 The Path 这条路指的就是前面提到的环海公路，它会经过这个岛屿很崎岖的海岸线。Rugged 可以解释成为粗糙的或者是高低不平的意思，不过延伸出来它也有坚固耐用的意思。接着它除了呢会带你看这些岛上崎岖的海岸线之外，还有 dense rainforests 茂密的雨林，还有6个呢以达悟族传统地下屋为特色的传统村庄，所以有机会一定要到绿岛，也要到兰屿来好好的欣赏这2个美丽的台湾离岛。 OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
Thanks for joining us, guys. We hope you learned a little bit more about your own offshore islands. At least you'll know how to describe them to your foreign friends who speak English. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Bye.